Last call, Savages, before UFC Vegas 119. This is your last call. Peace. Everybody's welcome here at the channel. Savages, casuals, even smoke chasers. Get on in here. Maybe you can learn something. Warlord is out. Warlord 22, I believe. Wow. I can't believe it has come so far. Warlord 22 is out. The Shadowbox Final is out. Shadowbox Final is free. You can catch it on Instagram. You can watch the video on YouTube. It's out on there as well. This is the Midnight Shad0w, your last call for MMA. Dying to be alive Q&A. One of the things I like to say is, as the crowd is still gathering, we'll give them some time to get in, get some refreshments. I'll handle the bulk of the work for now. You know, the screens might look great, but this is not a button-up show. We always aim to learn something. So, we had some plans for the show, of course, but we actually got some questions in this week through social media. 3 of them, actually. One of them is 2 questions, sort of as one. You know how it goes. From Gift Bag. We'll handle the Q&A first, since that's what this was always supposed to be. And I don't know how long I might ramble and blow up on the smoke chasers on X. I'm at you tonight. But save that for later. Give the people who really don't want to be here a time to kick rocks. Alright? This is from Gift Bag 98Z. Yeah, my wife had a laugh about that one too. Gift Bag says, you always be saying we. Is there really a we? Who's on the team? Team in quotation marks. Is there, if there really is one? Well, Gift Bag. The president is definitely real. The president handles finances. I will ask the president to drop a few $signs in the comment if they happen to catch this video. And they should have a verified account. So then you will know that the president is real. Prez, if you're watching, Prez, how about if you just say, I am not a crook? There you go. Then you'll really know it's the Prez. Bleed does our tales of the tape. Bleed, if you're watching, Bleeds also goes by Bible Tech. Bleed does video game reviews, which will bring me to our next point, but we're not there yet. Bible Tech, Xbox video game reviews for Bleed. Bleed, if you could leave one of your very finest 6-7s in the comments for Gift Bag. Thank you. Then we have Beans and G. Beans is a channel moderator. Beans is also one of our beta reviewers of Warlord. She looks at it for, any problems. I go directly to Beans and say, how is it? How does it look? What did we mess up? What did we get right? What was misspelled? All that good stuff. Beans is, what did you? Beans is almost like an editor. Along with Beans, there's G, who reviews our social media posts, and specialty is music and making purchases and more purchases. and more purchases. And also LB, or Longwise Librarian, because he's really quiet. And as soon as he comes around, everybody else is really quiet too. Librarian is he's done as much work on this project as I have. Yeah, in the late nights, sometimes it's 4 a.m. You're on the other end of that hook, discussing these things and these plays and giving feedback. Is Librarian. And without Librarian's help, I would be just like some of these other fish, buried in social media ocean. And I ain't that. And we ain't that. My team is a pride of hungry lions, man. We come in for everything, but not in the way you think. We're going to go to work every single day. Work, research, sacrificing time and things we could be doing to get better at this. You know, to do this for real. This ain't a hobby. This is real. This is what we do. And it means a lot. So, yes, there is a team. Yes, there is a we. The next question, do I watch any other promotions or cover them? And that's a simple, straightforward, although regrettable answer. No. That's when I started this. First we started, we've explained the story before, but we started with boxing. It was Mike Tyson, my man. Prince Nazim Hamed was my favorite boxer. Fighting in 125, 126, man, I loved some Prince Nazim Hamed. He was unorthodox. He had that power. He was bringing it southpaw. Man, he was fast. Beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, there used to be a video game rental place. All right, showing my age here. There used to be a place where you could go rent movies and DVDs. And towards the end, it was just DVDs, but it was called Hollywood Video. I went into this Hollywood Video every single day and got as many as they would allow me to get. And eventually, I rented out the whole entire section on the fight section when I was still a teenager, man. I watched K1 was really the start of it. K1, me and my boy B, we watched K1 on the daily. We watched World Karate Tournaments, gi fighting, anything we could get our hands on. Listen, we watched WWEs. We brought all the WrestleManias from the 80s. We watched anything in that aisle. So I've been watching combat sports for so long. I would love to do PFL. I heard Bellator is coming back with something new and different. I really like Ryzen. I have Fight Pass. Some days I'll catch stuff and, I watch jiu-jitsu tournaments. But the amount of time we put into this, we do not have that time. We don't have any other time to give to some of these other leagues like PFL. So it's not that we don't like it. It's not that we're not into it. It's all timing. It's all timing. We need time to do this properly. People get these the smoke chasers. They're not reviewing. They're not researching. And one thing I keep seeing, and it's got me on this kick here, is people, the fanboys who are on Strickland, and most of these same fanboys are on Gaethje. They were gonna pick Gaethje, no matter what. It wasn't analysis, all right? It was fanboydom that won. Dressed up as analysis. This was going to be their pick. It wasn't this or that. Nothing they said. Everything was lip service. We knew who we were going to pick. There was no research. There is no process with the smoke chasers. I hear these guys say, this is going to happen all week. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. When that guy loses, Sirgon, Flex. This happens every week, and when it lose, there's nothing. Crickets. I'm hearing crickets. I'm hearing crickets. All right? There's no accountability. There's no P&L. You never hear about it again. It's on to the next lock, right? It's on to the next lock. Your last 3 locks got jacked. There's no trust, and it's so hard to gain trust and accountability, and it's because of the smoke chasers. We don't do that here. And that's it. Hard work process. We analyze it. We research it first, then we analyze the research. We use that research to dominate the boards, the numbers, the books. This is what we do. Brick by brick, day by day. Grind. No favorites, grind. No guesswork, grind. Film study, grind. Fighter profile review, grind. Mamba mentality on max. When we are doing this, we are trying to build our own throne so y'all can watch it. All right. So, UFC 6 is out, guys. All right. I already see fighters out there on the social media asking how they look, not agreeing with their profile numbers. It hit big. With the way things are now with social media, UFC 6 hit big in the community that we're in this space. Everybody's talking about it. If you've played it, please let me know what you think. I've seen the graphics on it. I do have it. It's downloaded. It's ready to go. Instead of playing it, I'm out here making videos and doing more research. I'm going to get to it before I go to sleep. It's not, hey. So I haven't played it yet, so this is not a review. I have seen the graphics. Graphics looks fantastic, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know how the game feels or how the mechanics have changed or what the rosters look like or any of that. But I will say that I had one of the best summers of my recent life playing video games with my kids. My daughter was a teenager. My son was a little bit younger. I'm a lot older than I look, I will tell you that. But this was years ago. And we played UFC. It was 2 UFC versions ago. We played the UFC every single day. We created characters. We created tournaments. And you could play in somebody else's tournament. We argued. We fought. Man, it was beautiful, great time. I will never forget that summer. I always think about it. UFC is big in my house. UFC, the video game, is big in my house. Something that means something, and it is out now. Get it? Shoot me a name or something. Probably can't do it on YouTube, but especially on X, if you hit me in a D, then maybe we can play or something. I don't like the lag, but I do have high speed. Obviously. So, I remember being genuinely sad when my vacation ended that year. When, I had to go back to work, but that sadness didn't last long. I just get off work and play. But they got to play all morning without me. They were getting better, man. And my son was getting super good. Anyway, those were some good days. And for that reason, UFC is not just a video game. It's part of my house. It's part of the rhythm. You know what I mean? And I remember for a little bit, my daughter thought she might have wanted to be a UFC fighter, which is comical because my daughter is so small and dainty and she's more a cheerleader than UFC fighter. For a minute, the game had her under the spell too. Something we really like. So shout out to UFC 6. If you're into that, go get it. I already got mine. I know fighters, like I said, the fighters are already talking about it. I see something like UFC 6. This is how casuals learn names. This is how people who are not really into the sport can sort of interact with it. You come across a video game, and it just puts more eyes on it, puts more focus on it, and that's what we want. So it shapes how the fans see the fighters, and that's all the plays for free on Instagram. You get all the plays for free watching the video on YouTube. The breakdown, Warlord, the goated tool in the MMA industry, the only tool in the MMA industry, that will cost you. That can also be found at the website. I mean, honestly, I just give away most of the stuff on Warlord anyway while I'm up here talking to you guys, so it's just a gratitude, right? No, you need to get it for yourself. That way you can study it and make your own bets. This is what you need to do. You get Warlord. It's just an evaluation. You make your own bets from that. I might be a terrible bettor. Warlord is a goated system. You need it. You don't think you do. Listen, it was built for creators. It was built for people who know UFC. The better you are at UFC, the better Warlord works for you. Sorry. Had to toot my own horn, had to say that. I can't never talk about it enough. I use it on the daily. I believe in it. I will continue to use it. You know, they say when you believe something, when you know that it's real, you have patience with it. So you'll be hearing about it from me for quite a while. I'm sorry to say. Not sorry to say. You'll find out. You'll find out. All right. So one of the other topics here that replaced our other topics, and there's only two. We're getting to them. I got one here, and then we're gonna head to the pass list. And before I go further, you know, one I guess it's a question, or one thing I always hear is because I'm always looking over here. If you notice me looking over here, I'm not gonna mess with my camera and stuff and show you, but I got a big curved Samsung, okay, and everything is up here. Notes, stats, numbers, tails, you know, I got everything I need up here. So I'm always looking at it. I'm always going to it. This is, you know, the board. And then here's the keyboard in front of me, not the keyboard, but the laptop, all of that. So, just if you're wondering, if you're like, why in the hell does he keep looking over? Because that's where the teleprompter is, all right? No, there's no teleprompter, but you know, if I got information, if I've got websites and stuff, and I know there's a way that I can show you my screen, man, I'll get to that. Yeah, I'll get to that. You know, we're late on the videos. All of our posts come out late every week. We're one of the last, these little cappers out here to post and all that. That's for a reason. Not purposefully. It's because we're really doing the freaking research. We're going hours. We're watching fights. You know, we are doing the thing. Nobody gets on my card without being watched multiple times, multiple fights. Nobody. I don't care if you fought 2 weeks ago. We're watching them all back. All right? We're doing the damn thing again. Because that's the only way I'm going to feel comfortable going in on you with a real bet. Like I said, man, they're playing favorites out here. They're playing favorites. They're lying to you. And they're getting lucky. Listen, there's only one or two choices. You can flip a coin on most of these fights, and it's going to be this guy or that guy. You're going to get it some of the time. Especially when we're dealing with fighters who are good, who actually can fight. We know Justin Gaethje can fight. And you know, one of the other fanboy raw upset takes was Sean Strickland. Why these guys, man? You're connecting dots over here. Why these guys? Anyway. Assumed edge. There's a real edge. All right. This is fighting. One punch. One scramble, one mistake. Look at Tom Nolan and Fariz Zaim. Now, we had that as the premium big bet play that week. It was on a parlay. He was with Brendan Allen. Watch that fight back. Go watch it. Go watch it tonight. Tom Nolan, surprised. Fareed Zaim, I mean, he was just too patient. It almost felt like an Anderson Silva fight. He was just not going. And I've seen him doing this more and more lately, and I bet you he regretted it. Fareed Zaim. Tom Nolan won that first round. I give it to him easy. The second round, Fareed Zaim came out and looked like a completely different fighter. He was on his game. I said, okay. I breathed a big sigh of relief. Like, okay. I knew how much I had on him. Like, good. He's in there. Early in that second round, he goes to kick Tom Nolan. He misses and slips on a banana peel and falls on the ground. Tom Nolan jumps on immediately, rides out the rest of the round on control. So right there, it's 2-0. Now, if Tom Nolan comes out and dominates the third round, then what I'm saying doesn't really mean anything, and he's just, the better fighter, and it was a bad read. Instead, Zaim comes out bloodied, I think a little embarrassed, a little shocked, and he wins the third round on all three judges' cards. Wins the third round, has his best round of the fight. This gives me the ability to believe and say if he doesn't slip in the second round, he wins that too. He wins the fight. We win the bet. That was one of the things that can happen in a fight. All right. The results do not dictate whether or not a read was good or bad or not. Most of the time. I mean, I'm sure the results have a damn to do with it. Okay. It don't take a whole day to recognize sunshine. All right. But what I'm saying is picking a fighter that loses can be the correct read. Picking a guy to win and he gets a huge upset can be a bad read. Just because you won doesn't make it a bad read. I see a lot of bad reads going on this year being rewarded. And for me, that's not a problem. But people are doing this online and in a manner of advisement, or whatever we're doing out here. People are following us, people are engaging. A lot of things are going on, especially from the betting angle. And smoke chasers are not doing the diligence, man, and they are leading you wrong. And them winning only makes it worse. Now you're getting deeper in the rabbit hole. Hey, but what do I know, right? What do I know indeed? I like to say a thing. The edge is earned. If it's there, a lot of times you got to dig to find it. Research. All right? Analyze. The market and the crowd may act like a path is obvious. But I'm saying be careful. These are where the trap doors are. And I'm not saying that these fights aren't going to go a certain way. I agree on some of these fights. But you can tell who's doing the real breakdowns and who are just saying a thing and who ain't really doing it. Anyway, start paying attention to market movement in a sport you like to bet on most. The lines are going to move. When you start knowing why the lines moved without having to find out from someone else, that's when you know you're ready. All right? Assumed edge is not the same thing as saying that there's no edge. There may be an edge. There may even be a side that we're leaning on. But what I'm saying is, on some of these fights that I hear people going in on and betting these big sums and just putting all kind of stuff out on social media in the community, there's not a definitive enough edge for North Coast money. You go ahead and put that money on it. There ain't no definitive. We're playing the edge. And you got to find it. And it's got to be real. And that's the difference, man. You know, a raw dog upset is when the right side loses because this is fighting. Because one punch, one scramble, one mistake can cost you everything. That doesn't mean the original read was fake. That doesn't mean the right side wasn't the right side. All right? There's been upsets, man, but you can't like I'm sorry. Let me get off of my horse right now. Even the horse is tired of me. Assumed edge is different. Sometimes edges are real and the fight breaks the wrong way. That's what I'm trying to say. Assumed edges are different. Assumed edges when public starts treating fights like the answer is obvious. But the matchup carries enough hidden volatility that we don't trust it at all as a betting position. And then some of these edges are so fake that we're on the complete opposite side. Like, I don't even know what the hell these people are looking at. And then there's also, in this one I got from Ev Singleton of Guy Boston Sports. It's beautiful. He likes to say about a matchup sometimes, if there's two guys sitting at the bar and you're the one saying like, oh, this can't happen, or no way this is going to happen, then you're probably the one who's wrong. Some fights can go either way, and both sides are right. And if you're the one saying, hey, that could never happen, then you're the one that's wrong. Thank you, Ev Singleton, for that. We got a couple fights on the list here, and the last thing we'll get to is the pass list. But the fights that I wanted to talk about, the biggest assumed edge fights that we have ourselves for here are Christian Rodriguez versus Haider Emil, and Melsik Bagdasaryan versus Murtazali Magomedov. We're not saying there's no edge in these fights. We're saying the edge is not definitive enough for North Coast money. A few people's skins, but it's real, so I don't care. There are real cappers out there. Real ones. People who show up, do the work, they break down the fights, they track the reads, they stand in front of their wins and losses. Guys on YouTube like AJ, Mike Finch, Kunith MMA. Those guys are really doing this. They know what they're looking at, and even when I disagree with their reads, I respect their process, that they have a process. And AJ eats, breathes, and lives this, all right? Check out his channel if you don't believe it. He's posting every single day. MMA, all right? These are the real ones, and they're mostly on YouTube. And this is the group I consider myself in with. This is about the fighting. This is, more. And then you have another group out there, especially on X. And I'm not here to call out names or tear anybody down. I'm just saying, bettors become better. Learn the difference between the real ones doing it and the smoke chasers. Some of these people are not capping fights. They're chasing smoke. That's all I'm saying. Talk up the fighters all week. Post that confidence. This is going to happen. Fighters lose. You never hear about it again. Nothing else. You just move right along. Give you some more bad bets. Tell you to do this, to do that. Just fanboy conviction, dressed up analysis. Then they act like they cracked the code on the fight game or something. Get out of here. We don't play no favorites. We don't do no guesswork. We're a smoke chaser. Results matter. Accountability matters. Process matters. If you only show your wins and bury your losses, you are not building trust. You're selling smoke. And of course, it's not here for your smoke, dog. Listen, y'all, it is quite possible to oversimplify things. And I think we might have done that with the pass list. It's so simple, it's almost confusing. The pass list is the list of fights we decided to pass on betting. The stay off plays. So we only got 4 of them that we just wouldn't touch. A lot of times we don't touch fights for so many different reasons, but because of the lines, they're too wide. If you know who is going to win a certain time, you're really convicted about it. The books are probably convicted about it too, and the line's not going to make you any money. You can chase the underdog and act like you did something sweet when you hit the upset. Not going back in on the boys. Carol Rosa versus Luana Santos. This matchup, Carol Rosa should win. She should dominate. She has that physique we talk about for the women's game. She has that physicality. She has those guns. She's got that upper body strength. And it matters more in the women's game than it does in the men's, let me tell you. Men with any kind of build can win these fights and win any fights. These slight, smaller girls, and I say this respecting that Carnelossi got tapped up, and Carnelossi is built. But most of the time, that's not the case. You always have these outliers. Carol Rosa has a little bit of that going on. Luana Santos looks like a cheerleader or like a model or something. Shape, I mean. And that's not all the fight is about. That's not all the fight is about. That's just one aspect of it. But really, we don't like anything in this fight. We don't like anything in this fight. Luana Santos is 5-1 in UFC. And she gets down, man. I wouldn't be surprised at all if she won this fight. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if Carol Rosa won this fight before the second round was over. So that's one of the reasons why we stayed off of this fight. Melsik Bagdasaryan and Murtazali Magomedov. There's strangeness with this fight. The line came out one way, completely flipped. Magomedov has never fought in the UFC before. All of a sudden this week he became the second coming. That's great. We're going to wait this one out and see what he really looks like against a guy who's been in there before, but who's not that great or hasn't had that great showing himself. Magomedov is a favorite, and he's getting wider every night. His line's getting wider. That one is way too volatile. I've seen a lot of knockout in the second rounds, first round, a lot of unders. Hey, maybe he can be that guy, and I ain't mad at you. He just needs to show me first before he can just show me in the UFC before I can commit to something like that. Christian Rodriguez, the prospect killer versus Haider Emil. I love this matchup. Haider Emil is better than a lot of people are giving him credit for. They do not I don't think they like the optics on that Delgado fight. But listen, Delgado's an animal. He is a different breed. These two guys, I would have said Christian Rodriguez was, but he sort of fell back. And one thing about this fight, you don't know where Christian Rodriguez' head is at this point. He's got things going on, personal things that I don't want to get into. What's Christian Rodriguez is going to come out, and how's he going to be into this game? Haider Emil's pro. He's going to be on his game. I guarantee you that. Love Christian Rodriguez. Bet him a couple times. Lost on him a couple times recently. There's one point in time, if you were a new guy and you had to fight Christian Rodriguez, just like Magomedov, it didn't matter what you were doing outside on the regional scene. Christian Rodriguez was going to put you down. He was the original prospect killer. He's sort of fallen off of that. And the last one on the pass list, Shane Collins versus Atari Tanzalovi. Both of these guys are making their UFC debut. This is one of the upsets that Warlord has picked this week. Warlord is on Atari Tanzalovi at plus 165. We are not betting this because there's just no way here. There's no confidence. These boys have not shown us anything on this scale, on this level, they're lucky they're fighting each other. All right. And I don't know what kind of translation you can infer. Yeah, I asked a guy about this one time. Another guy who does like sort of the analytic aspect and angle on these fights. Of course, he didn't respond to me. I just don't like to respond to me. I'll sure like to take my ideas and not respond or not like and not give credit. But I see stuff that I came up with off the top of my dome and worked on, and then others are doing it. Man, it doesn't mean they couldn't come up with it on its own. But damn it, this is the original MMA Last Call, the Midnight Shadow. And that's all I got for you guys tonight. Yeah, thanks for sticking with me so long. This one ran a little bit long. I'm getting heated with the boys, man. But you know, all we're going to do is keep on researching and keep on winning. All right, man, we're out of here. Peace.